The vacation was supposed to be a break from stress, a chance for our family to reset and enjoy time together. But from the very first day something didn't feel right. My spouse seemed distracted, almost like they weren't really present with us. Everyone else was excited about the beach, the food, and the activities. Yet my partner carried an invisible weight that they never explained. I noticed right away that their phone barely left their hand. Every time I glanced over, they were typing quickly, turning the screen away from me whenever I got too close. When I asked who it was, I got vague answers about work issues and urgent messages. It didn't make sense. This was supposed to be a family vacation, not a business trip. At night, I expected us to unwind together, but instead, they claimed to be too tired or too busy catching up on emails. Intimacy was replaced by cold distance, and even simple conversations felt like walking through fog. The worst part was a strange slip. My spouse mentioned plans about going somewhere tomorrow, even though nothing like that was on our itinerary. When I asked what they meant, they brushed it off like I'd misheard. I wanted to believe them, but a knot formed in my stomach that wouldn't go away. The longer the vacation went on, the harder it became to ignore the changes in their behavior. While the rest of us looked forward to outings and family dinners, my spouse always seemed to have an excuse to disappear. Sometimes it was claiming to feel unwell, other times it was errands that didn't really make sense on a trip like this. I began noticing patterns. Right before these disappearances, there would always be a message or call that pulled their attention. They would step away, lower their voice, and come back hours later pretending nothing had happened. One afternoon I saw a receipt sticking out of their pocket, one that didn't match any purchase we had made together. When I asked about it, they casually dismissed it, saying it was from a quick snack run. The total was far too high for something so small, but I bit my tongue. I didn't want to accuse them without proof, though every part of me screamed that something was wrong. Even family members started asking subtle questions, like why my spouse kept missing dinners or why they were never around during activities. I defended them out loud, but privately I was battling the sinking realization that my fears weren't unfounded. By the third evening, my doubts had grown too loud to silence. Every excuse, every sudden disappearance, every half-hidden message felt like pieces of a puzzle I didn't want to complete. My heart told me there was only one explanation, but my mind kept trying to deny it. That night, when my spouse claimed they needed fresh air, I couldn't ignore it any longer. I waited a few minutes before following at a distance, my chest tight with fear. It didn't take long to find them. Just beyond the resort, I saw them standing with someone else, a figure I didn't recognize. The way they leaned in close, the way they laughed softly together, it was nothing like the detached person I had been with all week. Then came the moment that broke me. An embrace far too intimate to dismiss as friendly. I froze, my stomach dropping as if the ground had given out beneath me. All of the late-night calls, the excuses, the cold distance. It all clicked into place in that single moment. My body trembled with a mixture of anger and heartbreak, but I stayed silent, watching from the shadows, knowing that my world had just shifted in a way I could never undo. I returned to the room before they did, my mind racing with what I had witnessed. When they finally walked in, I couldn't contain the storm inside me any longer. I asked directly who the person was and why they had been together in such an intimate way. At first, they tried to act confused, but the moment I pressed harder, their mask slipped. Excuses came pouring out, claims that it was a friend, that I was overreacting, that I had misunderstood what I saw. Each word felt like a knife twisting deeper, because the truth was already carved into my memory. The betrayal was undeniable. The argument escalated quickly, my voice shaking with hurt while theirs rose with desperation. They wanted me to let it go, to believe it was nothing, but how do you erase the image of your partner holding someone else like that? The trust one had once protected so fiercely was gone, shattered in a single evening. By the end of the confrontation, I realized nothing they could say would ever repair the damage. The vacation that was meant to bring us closer had instead revealed the lies that separated us completely. I knew then that moving forward would never look the same.